as we're going. It'll jumble me up, I'm sure.
Oh, no worries. So we are live. I want to thank everyone who's watching now or in the future. And for those of you that don't know, this is going to be yoga styled convos, and we have a special guest today. So I want to talk about this guest a little bit. This is a very talented instructor, someone that I've trained with for quite a bit of time, and they're going to have a lot of great information for you. So this is a good opportunity for you to hopefully learn something and take away some solid information about yoga. So please welcome in Maggie Harrison.
Thank you. Thank you, David, for having me.
Oh, sorry,
What?
wrong one. That
Dang it,
was
I'm a
the wrong one. Let's try
joke.
that again. Please welcome in.
Let's do the laugh again though now.
Okay. Please
Perfect.
welcome in Maggie Harrison.
I like it.
I think we wanted to go with this one more time. Please welcome in Maggie. There
Oh
we
my
go.
goodness,
That's
all
more.
that.
That's far more appropriate.
Thank you. Thank you, everyone.
So with Miss Harrison here, we've had quite a bit of a journey in our own personal lives with yoga, and we both were able to continue to do it and do, I think, some good work teaching people. I really appreciate what you have come to do with your journey.
Yeah, thank you. It like you said, it's been long. We both kind of found yoga on the other end of our past.
That is true. So I wanted to ask you today a little bit about particular styles of yoga, um, and I wanted to ask you about hip openers
Okay.
because I have my feelings about hip openers, but I don't think me and you've actually ever sat down and talked about hip openers and how
Okay.
much they really do for us.
All right.
So that kind of sounds pretty fun.
Uh-huh. I like it. It's an interesting topic for sure. Um, so you want me just to start talking about it? I
Yeah,
had
I
this
guess.
one I have this one specific story just pop into mind as soon as you said hip openers. I was working at a studio in downtown Riverside, and we did candlelight yin. And yin is a
Ooh.
style of yoga which is just deep stretching, I usually like to say, because sometimes the Taoist and the yin and people are intimidated by yoga, which I'm really trying to get away from. So I don't have to call it yoga. Like I can call my class deep stretching. I'm not even offended, right? Um,
Yeah, seriously.
to make it more open to, everybody. But I had this one, I guess, client one night, and we did a lot of hip openers, and she just came up to me at the end, and it was kind of during COVID, and she was crying, and I was like, "Are you okay?" And I was like, "Do you need a hug?" And she's like, "Yeah." And we embraced, and I said, "You know what? Sometimes those hip openers, they'll get you. I don't really understand the physiology around it, but
Oh, me neither.
we can really release some serious emotions with those hip openers." And it's really a miraculous thing when people can just like break down and feel vulnerable and just let go and get into the position and just cry. Sometimes that's what we need. And that's kind of yoga got me through a lot of breakthroughs. And I was glad to be there for her that evening. It was a cool experience.
That is a really cool experience and a really nice story because it's it's really amazing when you see people feel a bit better and can open up to you about specific things that have been going on that maybe they haven't told anyone or even told to themselves.
Hmm.
And it's rewarding to know that they were able to get some relief. So I really appreciate that story personally.
Yeah. What do you have to say? What are your feelings on hip openers?
Well, I like hip openers a lot, particularly as I've gotten older and more reckless as we let the baby get into bed. With us, we still do. At some point we're probably wean her off, but I really let her trash my back these last few years, and it's my
They
I
do that, don't they?
that's what they do. And hip openers have really, really helped me out with my back so much so that I was able to
Mhm.
tell them to so many different people, and I would see them later on, and they would tell me that they're teaching those same yoga postures to other people so they can help their back and help their
Uh-huh.
specific ailments, whether it's their mid back, the thoracic, or lumbar spine. Like it was really going around, and it's a very simple thing to do. You can go on like maybe butterfly pose, 2 a.m. You're in a pinch, you have back pain, you don't know what to do. Put some pillows under your knees, go into butterfly, and breathe, and you might be able to take it down a bit. And
Mhm.
lo and behold, every single time someone's told me they've done it, it's helped them. So that's been really cool for me.
Yoga's magic, I'll tell you what.
It sure is. And also, I've learned to respect yoga. I know pigeon pose used to give me a Charlie horse every time until I
Mhm.
finally sequenced it right. You can't just, some people can, but you really shouldn't probably
It's
just
a
jump
hard
in.
one, and, and I've been to deep stretching classes where they just, like, hop into frog or pigeon, like, the 1st or 2nd pose. I'm like, "Whoa, whoa, whoa. This isn't cool." Like, we gotta warm up. Like, those are, like, peak. I feel like, personally, like you were just saying, those are peak poses.
Absolutely.
You gotta warm up your muscles, especially if you're gonna be holding them for a while.
That's
But,
exactly how I feel, and I paid the price for it. So I I always tell people
mhm.
from personal experience, you're gonna want to hopefully warm up and build up to this.
Yep.
They've also helped me a lot with just overall looseness of my body. I feel like hip openers are a great way to start your practice if you're doing them safely, particularly like poses like butterfly where you're not putting
Mhm.
too much stock into it too early.
Yeah, definitely. I was recently reading about, and when you're in yoga teacher training, things just kind of fly by, and it's only 200 hours, and then you always have to like research on your own. And I was just reading, like maybe a couple months ago, so I've kind of incorporated this into my classes. Is that what we're talking about, the hip openers and the low back specifically, or thoracic spine? There's like all these muscles that come out of the inside of your pelvis that attach to your spine, and that tight, if those are tight, that's can cause back pain.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
So
The psoas muscles, it's alone. And
mhm. So if you just like gently release those, so in most of my classes now, I'll do like a butterfly with like just a gentle lean forward, gentle lean off to the side, so we can release all that tension around those muscles and all that connective tissue, so we can safely fall into the other poses.
very smart. And
Mhm.
I think that you hit the nail on the head when you said safely fall into
Yeah,
the other poses. Sometimes I
I'm all about safety.
sometimes I really wish it was a pill for some people. I know
Right.
they need to get away, but I know so many people tell me if I just had more time, and I understand exactly where they're coming from because I think you can relate. I feel like I don't make enough time for my own practice, even though
Oh, no, never.
I do make time. It's
Not
never
enough.
enough. So I can relate to them, whether they're a professional athlete or an elderly person who's retired. I totally understand where they're coming from.
Right.
But if you can make the time for it, the rewards physically are tremendous and mentally as well. And that's something that a pill probably can't give you is that experience.
Right. Like that's like kind of, I feel like the past couple of years, that analogy, if there was a pill for it, you would do it. That's come up a lot in my life because I worked at the float studio, and
That's
all the
right.
relief that you get from floating, people don't make time for it, but they'll take a pill for their anxiety. But there's actually longer lasting relief from anxiety when you float. You just have to take the time, drive down there, take the hour, be a little uncomfortable, and go. And the same thing with yoga. It's like you have to drive down there. or turn on YouTube, and you have to make the time and try to get away. And if there was a pill that released your muscles or made you feel that good, people would take it. It's just hard to take that time when there's so many other obligations in this world. Like during COVID, we were all so relaxed and like just watching stupid Tiger King or, you know what I mean? And like
Right.
life was slow and we were bored. But then I feel like we didn't learn our lesson because everybody I run into these days is just like, oh my gosh, I'm so busy. Oh, I can't have time. Da, da, da. And it's, we're even busier than we were before, which is crazy, but I'm guilty of it too. Like
Right.
it's, there's so many things on everybody's plate, between parenthood and jobs and careers. And, it's hard to take care of yourself. Self care always comes last for some reason. I don't know why that is.
That's why it's really rewarding for me to have these conversations with you, and also with the other people who are gonna hopefully be a part of these conversations. And that's why I ask people to leave comments so that they could be a part of the community and start to feel a sense of community. Because I'm in a lot of Facebook groups, and it's kind of nice to have post and post back and have a bit of talk, because I'm sure a lot of people can relate, because when you're talking, I relate big time, and I know me and you, we stay in contact when we can, and we it's
But I'm
pretty
too
much
busy.
how
I'm too busy
busy.
for you, David. I'm sorry.
It's true. It's just it's basically like, hey, what's going on? Busy, and I can, oh man, I can relate. so it's I'm sure a lot of other people can understand that. I have been embracing, though, and it can be multiple communities, but I have been embracing the element of a positive community, even if it's small, even if it's not something that you utilize every day. Maybe it's once a month, maybe it's a couple times a month. Once a year, me and a bunch of singers get together. We've been doing it every year since I was in high school. Um, and that's still really a special time. So I'm a big component. I can't say the word.
Proponent.
Proponent. Thank you. Of community. So
Uh-huh.
I
Yeah.
appreciate some of these stories that you share.
Yeah, totally. I didn't know that you had a singing group.
Oh no,
Is it like a
well,
choir or is it like
yeah. Well, I was in a police academy, and we were the first branch or class, and we were set up so we can become police officers right when we were 20 and a half in Redlands. And my family pulled me out, I think the first month into the second year. And the only thing open was choir. And I was like, I can't go to choir. They're all nerds.
right?
But I went there and they had donuts, and donuts are my favorite food. And I was always a pretty gifted singer, so it's not like I didn't like music. So it was kind of like fate. That's when they won me over, when they had a donut day. And then I said,
Uh-huh.
"Oh, choir kids aren't nerds. Band kids are nerds." No, I'm just kidding. Any band
Yeah,
kid
we were.
watching.
Yeah, we were.
Well, hey, you're saying it, not me. But no, any band kid watching, I'm just kidding. But yeah,
We know.
a little
We
bit.
know. I played French horn. Don't even worry about it.
Oh, well, these
But
things
you know what?
happen.
Talking about community, within that community, there is no need. You know what I mean? Like, if there is no need to be the other kids. Like, it's so tight. You spend so much time with those kids and you create these bonds, and there's lifelong friends. I met a girl in seventh grade. We played French horn together. And that was, I graduated 20 years ago. So we'll say 25 years ago, and we're still friends.
Wow,
There's a tight bond that goes there in
absolutely.
band. So nerds unite.
Yeah,
Good.
it's a good thing. It's a beautiful thing.
Mhm.
Well, this has been a beautiful, beautiful discussion. I know we didn't go into too many details. To those who are watching this, we are still kind of figuring out some of the cracks, the pops. That's where you come in, and hopefully you can give us a little bit of feedback on what seems to work for you that you like. We're going to continue to tweak things. We didn't want to make it too long as we experiment, but hopefully you had a good time. I'm going to ask at this point, as you see on the slide, to please like, comment, and hit the notification bell so you can be alerted when we have more settings like this, where we can bring in guests, or hopefully Maggie again. and we can hopefully have a really good live, and you can ask questions, and we can give you our feedback. Because at this point, me and her have seen quite a bit of different looks. We're still learning and growing ourselves, but and Maggie, please speak on that as well.
What do you mean looks?
Like you got a little bit of dirt on your skin now.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, you cut your teeth a bit in the yoga industry.
Oh,
You're not green anymore. You know,
it's true. It's not for the faint of heart. I'll tell you what.
but it's an extremely rewarding.
But it's a rewarding lifestyle. I've chosen it to be my life, so it's a very rewarding place to be for sure.
And I think you do a really good job living it too. I have to give you a lot of credit. The I meet a lot of people who do yoga, and not a knock on them, but I think personality wise, men and women, I think you're up there with the accountability that you show, and the always the effort to grow. It's very refreshing to see and inspiring. So I
Well,
appreciate it.
that's why my Instagram handle is live, grow, and repeat, because that's all we can do in this life, right?
That is right. So I want to please plug that right now. Live, grow, repeat is the Instagram handle. Please check her out there so you can get more inspiration. She's got a lot of inspiring messages, reels, quotes, stories, really inspiring stories. And also it has information about products she might have out or classes that she's going to be actively teaching. So please check that out at Live, Grow, Repeat. And I'll make sure to leave a link in the description.
Thank you, David.
Oh, no problem. Well, that's going to do it for us today. We are going to end the stream, and everyone be well. And stream.